I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Carlos Abla. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm feeling so great and so fantastic. How are you, my friend?
I am excellent. Thanks for asking. It's a great pleasure to connect with you. I mean, tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Minnesota. I'm in the Twin Cities, in the lesser known of the two, in St. Paul, where our capital is.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Well, aside from your talent for spotting amazing humans, that's probably the main one. But I don't know if I qualify. We'll find out. But probably my talent for storytelling. I do a lot of storytelling and creating meaningful experiences on the internet. Which I've had the privilege of doing for folks like History Channel and Smithsonian, online exhibits, different things, but also applications and other kind of content. I've had a pretty good career of doing that. And nowadays, for like the last 5 years, I've been helping 3M and other large companies help adjust to doing business in the post-internet world. And another thing I think I probably focus a lot on is finding ways to help content marketers learn how to merge social value and business value together, since empowering people is a really core thing that we do online nowadays to build relationships. And so people empowerment is core to my mission, and I find ways to work that into my profession.
Wow. So I heard one thing, right? One skill, and you can correct me if you think it's not accurate, but who did you learn the skill of working hard from?
Working hard from? Probably my mother. My mother's an incredibly hard worker, super industrious, very passionate. She in addition to working a job to pay the bills all day, she also followed her passions a lot, with anthropology and crafts and culture. And so because of that, I had the good fortune of actually working alongside her a bit in the Science Museum of Minnesota. She worked there, and they had a youth volunteer program. And so in a way, my other skill of storytelling, in a way, I kind of learned from a dead man, because I used to hang out next to the mummy there in the Egyptology section and talk about mummification and funerary archaeology and stuff like that to thousands of visitors a year as a kid, where probably my storytelling and performance was born. But so I would say my mother and a dead man.
Wow.
Probably more my mother.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating, Carlos. Being the guy that's doing the hard work is definitely a decision that needs to be made, right? And you could either say yes or no, right? Given the fact that you have said yes to working hard, why will you continue?
Well, I'll continue probably for a few reasons. I mean, one is I'm an endlessly curious person, and when you build media for people online and applications and different things, you are constantly learning about new things all the time. It could be something related to urban planning, or a museum that is trying to preserve an aspect of Native American culture and repatriate knowledge back to tribes. It could be people trying to manage traffic better. I mean, there's just so many different places you get brought when you work with content and applications and things online. So building skills around that is really good, because I'm endlessly curious, and because I love telling stories, and I also love helping to create abundance. So because, as I kind of mentioned earlier, so much of what we do online nowadays in order to build relationships is to provide, better educate people and empower people, making dentists better dentists, or small business owners better small business owners, is a part of how we develop relationships with them. So whether it's businesses or customers or nonprofits, there's always ways to find empowerment in there that helps generate more abundance, and that definitely is very motivational for me, because it's always great to find ways to help people.
Amazing. So if there's someone out there that's looking for the services you offer, where's the best place for them to go to find out more?
To find out more, probably I would say LinkedIn. Carlos Abler on LinkedIn. That's I've got a pretty robust presence there in terms of what I do and what I'm passionate about, and it's a great place to connect and build relationships. So that's usually where I send people to find out more.
Carlos Abler. So Carlos is pretty simple. Abler, Abler. Well, Carlos, please do tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Well, for a long time, my life was dedicated to performance. I used to do a lot of dance and theater and directing, and then the internet, sucked me into the world of into the vortex, into the glowing screen. And but after I did pretty well with content in the 2000s, now a lot of what I'm doing is helping other people get better at functioning online. So like for the last 5 years, I've been at 3M, and they're, they have, a marketing community of over 5,000 marketers, and everybody's trying to figure out how to get better with content, to be better storytellers, to help deliver more value and more help and more relevance to people online. And so a lot of what I do is really help other people's careers and help them grow and get better at it through programs and training and coaching and mentoring, and sometimes just giving them a big hug and whatever keeps them going. And so I guess over the last 3 years, I've been really focused on helping other people get better at their jobs and finding a rewarding experience in the work they do, and that's been really the most consistent theme, and it's also very fantastic.
Yeah, tell us how it makes you feel.
Oh man, it just full of love. I feel really blessed because the world I work in is just so creative, and I get to create, I get to make content, I get to help makers make content. And generally people who get into this space really have a lot of passion for what they do, because there's a lot of different ways to be creative with it, whether people are kind of storytellers or directors or trying to figure out, how can problems be solved online. There's so many different ways to apply creativity, and there's a lot of collaboration that happens. One of the transformative things about the internet and everybody trying to align better to the customer across marketing and sales and customer care and all these different silos is that they have to collaborate more and differently. So I feel like, in a way, kind of coming from the theater ensemble days of having teams come together and build a lot of trust and create, that's what needs to happen in companies around content now. So there's a lot of positivity that comes with that. So I guess I just feel really excited, and my heart fills with it because people come closer together and help better understand what people in the world need in order to deliver it.
Love it. Amazing audience. You're hearing Carlos Abler here live. Definitely too many things to spell out in 12 minutes, but he's definitely given us a sample, a very amazing sample. Again, you can connect with him on LinkedIn, Carlos Abler. Abler is Abler. Carlos, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Jedi, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory, it was like a dream or some sort of crazy visionary experience, because I was in my crib. I remember being in the crib, so I was really tiny. And I don't know if it was a dream or a hallucination or what, but I saw this big shaft of light in my room kind of open up, and there was this sort of luminous angelic being it was almost like some sort of Baroque painting of angels or something like that. It was a really kind of trippy experience, but I was really tiny, and who knows what's going on with the human brain at that time, either in terms of hallucinations or maybe what you are able to have visions to or whatever. But that's actually my earliest memory, is having a really kind of psychedelic vision from my crib.
Intriguing. So, well, if you had to guess your age, what would you say? Like 1, 2?
Yeah, it was probably less than 2, because I have a few memories of being in my crib. So it's a pretty clear, tangible memory. But that one was just disruptive and freaky. But I didn't think twice about it. I mean, when you're that little, who knows what the world is about at that age.
Why do you think it's so clear? Like, if you had to connect that memory to who you are now, Could you?
I think I'm a pretty spiritual guy, and I don't feel like I have a really good explanation for how the world works, and I don't know that I trust that really anybody does. But I have a lot of trust for the fact that the world's really a pretty miraculous place. And if you keep a very open mind to things, because I have a very strong intuition, and sometimes just crazy coincidences and magical things happen when you just are very open and accepting and not trying to define reality in too much of a box or keep a playful attitude toward reality. So I would say, in a way, there's that beneath the ordinary, there maybe always be something extraordinary that our perceptions limit us from really, really seeing.
I love it. Definitely. Drop the mic. Ping. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I think, what was my favorite song? I was a really big Beatles fan back in the day, and I was crazy about Sgt. Pepper and the White Album at that age. And so I don't think I had exactly a favorite song, but I really loved the Beatles music a lot. And I was starting to get into Dylan quite a bit. And It's All Right, Ma, the song It's All Right, Ma, I was super addicted to that. It was probably more like 13 or something, but I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. It's amazing how the titles of these things can connect. I mean, your relationship with your mother, definitely. I can hear you saying It's All Right, Ma, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Carlos, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it'll be yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Carlos?
I'm ready.
Carlos, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I don't have a particular individual. I help a lot of people, and I pass my skills on to teams and many people, so it's more of a community of people who want to get really great at creating content. And literally, I help hundreds of people a year just inside of 3M. So there isn't a single person. It's more of a community, I would say.
Are you married?
I am not married, but I have a very wonderful, fantastic girlfriend named Margarita, who's brilliant and an incredible painter and artist and just an amazing woman.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in the great whatever. I do believe in God. I don't necessarily believe we have the best explanation of what God is, but I do believe in some greater force and essence, and it moves through my life. That's for sure.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yeah, I do have some people I love very deeply, a tribe of just wonderful human beings. I'm very blessed.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I don't. Although I guess unless you count like the occasional binge watching, Netflix series or kind of HBO things and that type of thing. But I spend a lot of time staring at the screen for my work, so I really try to get back to the trees and the river as much as I can.
The screen is more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
More than 8.
All right. Carlos, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook thereafter. The name of it is Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self, and the idea is you answer questions that connect you, similar to these, to your own unique real statement. So a self-discovery type model book, right? Mm-hmm. If you, Carlos, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
I would say that anything that stands in between you and your intuition is the enemy of life and abundance, even if it's yourself.
Love it. Two conversations before, we're speaking about abundance and the value of it. Well done. Carlos, great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I think right now we really have to work on putting down the rage and putting down the anger. There's a lot of anger being stirred up by the stirrers of anger in the world right now. And I think we really need to focus on love, and we need to stop and listen to people and not give so much attention to the people who are trying to make us afraid of each other. And then we can, build and share and appreciate the world that we have together. So I'd just say put down the anger and pick up the love and pick up the respect.
Love it. Carlos, this was a great pleasure. Thank you, Carlos Abler, for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.